All right, so we're gonna have Dragoon on again. He's decided to come back for this other video where we're gonna be discussing. Are you gonna be playing the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection offline or online or both, and the possible reasons why you might do it? So, say hello, Dragoon.
What's up, everybody? Glad to be back.
So let's swap over to the game screen, and we've
Can I ask
got
a favor?
we got
Can you
Mortal
share?
Hmm?
Can you share your screen so I can see what
Oh, I'm not playing
you're
anything.
showing to everybody?
Yeah, I mean, I can share it, I suppose, but it's just going to be like basically you looking at the screen and that's it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, there's nothing like really to share. So
I see. You're being stingy, not sharing. Okay.
well, actually, there you go. You can look at that. There you go. That's that's all people are going to look at. So in the bottom corner on the right there is some gameplay between the Master John and, of course, Dragoon, all the way back 13 years ago. This is Mortal Kombat. This is Trilogy, right? Is this Trilogy gameplay?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yep. Cool. So, the question of the day, obviously, is, you know, who out there is going to be playing this game primarily offline, primarily online? Certain games you're going to be playing online and others like offline. Obviously, the handhelds won't have online at all, but a large majority will. I think it's 6 total games out of, I think, what's going to be eventually over 20 titles. So at least 14 plus are going to have online play. What about, so all right, we'll start with you, man. Like, what do you think? Are you going to mostly just be playing this offline, or are you going to be trying to jump in every day fighting people?
Well, I'm hoping to start teaching again. Back in the day, I taught people. Going to tournaments was fun, and playing with friends was great. But I really enjoyed like teaching other people how to play. So I'll be playing a lot online. Now, offline is fun. Getting your butt kicked by the computer is a good way to warm up and get your muscle memory back, and do some practice stuff by yourself. But it's not like today's games where there's a practice mode and you can sit there and spend hours in what they call the lab, right? So our lab back in the day was, I'm going to insert 2 quarters, play the computer, get my butt kicked, insert 2 more quarters. That was and hopefully someone would come and play. But I'll be mostly playing this online, basically for teaching. And we already know the offline. I mean, unless they add some stuff for the offline, maybe if they want to do like achievements or combat cards or things like that, then yeah, I'll play offline.
Yeah, I'd say they definitely have achievements. I'll just do a quick check because their latest one, which is I think it was no, it was Atari, their latest one on Ninja Turtles. But the Atari one has achievements. The Cowabunga collection, that has achievements as well. So I dare say they do. It's probably going to be stuff like play each game, just like, which would basically like load up each game in the collection, that sort of stuff. I don't know. I don't think you should have online achievements, in sort of in gaming, unless it's an online only game, because if the player base dwindles, then you miss out on achieving those particular achievements. So I'm kind of hoping that they'll be offline. So there's probably going to be a contingent of people out there that are going to be very happy just playing this offline. And I know some people don't think that's a good thing, but I think it's fine. I mean, we used to do it back in the day. Outside of arcade play and your friends occasionally showing up, this is the way that we used to play and practice. It was the only way to do it. So, is there going to be a game that you're going to be playing offline before you get online? Like before you even touch it?
I'll definitely be going over each game, reawakening the muscle memory. Because there's nothing better. There's nothing better than getting your butt kicked by the computer, because the computer can always throw you, no matter if you're blocking throws or not. It reads your inputs. You can glitch the computer, but I wouldn't. I don't do that. I let the computer kick my butt because it's the best way to learn.
Yeah.
And until X-Band came around, that's all we had was offline. Your
Yeah.
buddies drive to your house, or you go to their house and stay the weekend, and you just sat there for 48 hours straight, and your parents pick you up and say, "You haven't ate or slept in 2 days, have you?" Nope.
Mm-hmm.
And so until when X-Band showed up, it was $15 a month, and you got to play everyone over dial-up. That opened everything up.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful. But at first, yeah, you're stuck playing the computer. We were stuck playing the computer.
Yeah.
And we were happy.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's gonna be. I know it sounds weird, but I'm gonna I don't mind playing online. I think it'll be fun. I certainly don't have anything to prove because I don't care if I win or lose with these games. They're just fun.
Yeah.
But there is that part of me that kind of wants to just play them offline to a degree, to a large degree, because that's part of the nostalgia as well. Just kicking back and just loading them up on the TV or computer and just having some fun that way and not having the pressure or the worry about sort of going online. And of course, obviously, the opposite end as well. True, but there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be getting online and playing these. But it depends though, because I think the arcade ones are obviously probably going to get the most play. But I really want to push some of the console versions too, man. I'd really love to run some tournaments on Mega Drive MK1, Mega Drive MK2, because I was a Sega guy growing up, so that's why I generally say the Sega consoles first. Obviously Trilogy, that's gonna be, yeah, that's like having that game for the very first time in the modern day. It hasn't shown up since, I think probably the latest release was probably PC version, so that was a long ass time ago. So being able to play that online is going to be phenomenal. But I think I'll want to just jump offline and just see how it feels. Get the fingers, get all the dust out between the knuckles and try it out, because Trilogy's fucking fast. Right? People think modern NRS games, some of them are quick, and you guys haven't seen speed yet. These things are fast, and it's not just how they move just normally. You add the run button in, combo speed, you really got to be on your toes, but that's what makes it really exciting as well, I think.
I'm definitely not going to be a tryhard. I'm not going to try and dominate the space and pretend that I'm as good as I was, back in the day, because that's just not realistic.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to just get on here. We've already got a bunch of people on the Discord. If any of you listening wanna play some games when this comes out, join the Discord. I'm creating something called Dragoon's Combat Cave. It's basically free lessons all day. If you want to learn how to play MK1, 2, UMK3, Trilogy, I'll be more than happy to sit down with you. I'm not going to sit there and beat the crap out of you to where you don't learn anything. I'll actually go over all the basics, go over what you want to know to help you enjoy your experience.
Yeah,
Very excited.
And that is cool. That is really cool. I've only shared bits and pieces over the years. Mostly it's kind of help with fighting the AI and stuff. It's going to be, because obviously I'm assuming there's not going to be things like frame data added in, so it's literally going to be learning by sight and feel. And this is how we used to do it. Obviously every single game has frame data, but what we don't have is visible frame data, right? So, we're basically just going to be, for those that don't know some of the stuff, obviously just learning by feel and sight, when you fight these in these particular games. I just really hope that the emulation's solid, because that way I don't want to feel like I've got to fight, how if one of the emulators is kind of dodgy, I'm hoping it won't be. But if it is, then you kind of got to fight against that, but hopefully, if anything does show up not working as intended, that they'll patch it, pretty quick, because at the end of the day, offline or online, this stuff, has to be pretty seamless. And if they can get this sort of stuff running on like mobile phones and all sorts of shit, Raspberry Pis and stuff, then there's no reason, whatsoever, to have these running in tip-top mint condition. I'm still hopeful for MK Gold, but I'll probably play that one. If they add that in there, I'll probably play that one offline a lot. Same with MK4, at least initially.
Yep.
I know there's that part, you know what the part is like, you know what I'm talking about when I say this, wanting to get online and still hold your own at our age, see if we still got it. And there's that part of it, but I think as older I get, I kind of just don't care anymore. I'm just kind of, I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
There's a few channels out there like Daryl's and Headlock where they just play and just have fun. They don't care win or lose. And that's really good. And it's the way
that's the best mentality to have, in my opinion. It's like, because winning is fun, but you have to win with grace and you have to lose with grace. And every time you lose, you learn. Yeah. So learning is part of the process. So, we got a lot of sore winners and sore losers out there, but then there's also a bunch of people that just want to have fun. They want to relax, not have to deal with all the nonsense. I'll just say it nicely. The nonsense that comes with some people you are going to come across online that are going to exploit the broken parts of the game that are in there. And you can't let that ruin your experience. Just, to me, digital records, like your win and loss records, they mean nothing to me anymore.
Yeah.
Right? I don't care. I don't care about a number on a screen that only I get to see, right? All I care about when this comes out is I want to play people, meet new people, have fun with people, build bridges. We can make some tournaments. We can have fun. My buddy Dan, who has been out of the game for 13 years, he is so happy to be able that this is coming out. So me and him were talking, and I'm hoping to get him in the Discord. And, it's going to be amazing. We're going to have so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you, so you mentioned, so there's obviously like some of these older games definitely have some exploits. There's the Sonya leg grab infinite in MK1. There's, I think, the bicycle kick. Was that a trilogy one? The bicycle kick, was that a trilogy or ultimate?
UMK3 and trilogy in the corner. Yeah.
So they didn't change that from ultimate to trilogy. So
No.
Did you want to mention some of the things that obviously are very hard exploits that essentially, at least when we're fighting on this channel, we won't be doing, teaching, or approving. If people start doing that stuff, then we just won't play with them.
Yeah, exactly. There's no reason to play with people that want to basically cheat the system for cheap wins. In my opinion, that's not winning. Yeah. Winning, to me, is learning the game and playing the game like it was supposed to be played. Not the whole mentality, well, it's in the game, I'm going to use it. Yeah. So there's a few things in the game that are going to give people a hard time. One of them is the punch glitches, where you'll be able to punch while blocking at the same time, right? The other is the relaunchers. Some characters have relaunchers where they can do a pop-up, and then if you jump in at the right time, you can repeat that process. They know that wasn't intended in the game, but they do it anyways. Noob Cybot, he has the ball. That with the proper timing, you can do a couple of moves and reset it and, repeat the process. Just stuff that you obviously know that's not in the game, not supposed to be there. But you're going to have people do that anyways. I have no interest in playing people that do that. I mean, I know how to get around it. Yeah. I'll teach other people how to get around it. But it's just like, dude, like people cheat at Fall Guys. Of course, they're going to cheat at Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
But you have the option not to play them. You don't have to play them.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, those are the exploits that I can think of off the top of my head that are going to do the most damage to people and their experience. I'm not going to do any of that stuff because I don't want to ruin the experience for other players.
Yeah. So I won't say what the section is, but we were all talking the other day about the idea of essentially setting up like a team of people who who essentially represent the channel, and with the goal is that hopefully other channels will then get their own representatives, and then we can actually have some tournaments between Fate's channel versus say Headlocked, or Fate's versus Daryl, and all that sort of stuff. And that could apply to any of the versions out there. If you're an absolute master on the Super NES version of Ultimate, then yeah, like we want to hear from you, that sort of thing. And so I'm gonna, with your help too, dude, like we'll figure out the sections to set up, because I know, like, because you obviously want to teach people, so we'll try and figure out a section for that, unless you just want to use your own section, because I was thinking about whether we should redo there's a YouTube creator section, and I don't know if people really use it a whole bunch, so we could repurpose it, move it up the roster a bit, or something, I don't know, and figure it out from there. Because when you were talking about the exploits, I'd actually like to have like something like that pinned in a section where everyone will be able to come in and talk about the online stuff, right? So, people could come in and go, oh yeah, I saw this, this glitch or whatever, like, is that intended, or blah, 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 and then we can actually have a list pinned of all the stuff, and we can make it like I don't know, some sort of like file that people just click on and access on the net, where it's all the exploits that people can read and go, okay, we don't do those. And if you see people doing those, then you can avoid it, right? You can avoid them. So that way people learn. So
you said what you said just a second ago. It'd be awesome to have, setting up tournaments from one Discord to another, having representatives. But I hope that people that choose the representatives choose wisely.
Yeah.
Right. That they don't pick people that are abusive, aggressive, disrespectful. Because I want to help make. I mean, we need the Mortal Kombat community needs a lot of healing. We all see this, right? It needs something positive to push the MK community out of this hole that it's dug itself into. So if we're gonna do this, I hope that people pick representatives that are humble, that have some kind of respect, for others. We don't need. I'll just say that we don't need high school drama brought into this. This is about a video game. It has nothing to do with ego. It has nothing to do with, well, I've been playing this game for 50 years and blah, 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 right? We just, we want to make it a good experience, and you got to be careful because there are people that were trying to ruin that experience.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's why, like, I thought, like, that could be a lot of fun, for us to be able to do, because then somebody might be, like, for me, I'd actually have a lot of fun sort of, wanting to play, like, MK2 Mega Drive, as like, and Trilogy, that'd be a couple there, just because I remember playing a lot of MK2 against, like, friends a lot back in the day, and then obviously do that online, and then, of course, Trilogy. As well. So, like that's one of the things I actually kind of find a little exciting, is that, you might have someone come in and go, yeah, I want to compete in 32X MK2. Right. That sort of thing. And then that way, like, you build up a team, based around the channel. And I'll give you like the name, so that way it can't be stolen. I was thinking of just calling it like Fate's Crusaders. If this sort of takes off, and it may not, but it's kind of, I know people have been wanting to have competitions on the channel for a long time, but I really didn't have any interest doing it with MK1, especially too, because it's just a bare bones online experience. It's not a fun game to play. But with something like Legacy Collection, there's a lot of choice. There's a lot of choice for people to be able to choose from a whole variety of games that they're interested in. And imagine like running like an MK4 arcade tournament, stuff like that. Things like that would be like very cool. We'll figure out things like prizes, that sort of shit. We've got a lot of sort of work to do to sort of figure out how we'll move forward with that. But I think it'd be really, really cool. I think it'd be a lot of fun to do that, man.
Yeah, I would love it. I mean, we do know that crossplay will not be available at launch,
Yeah.
right? But that's all right. We can be patient, and we can have representatives for each platform,
Yeah.
right? So we have people from all over the world in our Discord for all different platforms. So that's not going to be complicated. And when they do add crossplay, that's just going to make it even better.
Yeah. So what of advice? This is my advice: is that just buy, the collection. If you plan on buying the collection, just buy it on your preferred platform. That's what I do. Unless you really do have a lot of mates somewhere else and you own both consoles. But I think just just to be prudent, I think just buy it on your favorite platform, and we'll go from there. If we do tournaments and stuff like that, then people could share this. So for example, people could. So we'll have a section where if there is a tournament running, we'll have everyone involved in the tournament in a particular voice channel. That voice channel, that person perhaps could like share their screen, or they share the screen of the people that are fighting, and then that screen I can then share live.
Right.
So that way everyone can see it. So I don't even have to own the Xbox or the PlayStation or the Switch. But as long as we have the ability on whichever platform to be able to share that screen to the Discord, then we can then stream that, through that way. Hopefully it'll all work out. But for those that have PlayStation, Xboxes, and Switch, in the Discord, we'll have to start doing some trial work, and just seeing how it goes before we get to that point. So,
yeah, I think it's gonna be great. What I'm doing, since I'm on PC, I'm gonna buy the PlayStation 5 Deluxe Edition, because I want the Steelbook and all the goodies that come in it. But I'm also gonna buy the Steam version so I can play it at launch, and then when I finally get the PS5 version, I'm going to give my code to my buddy, so he'll be able to play. And hopefully, I mean, my buddy mentioned this yesterday, and it's just an idea, but I'm wondering if because we're getting it in September, but we're having to wait for December. I'm wondering if crossplay is going to drop in December along with the rest of the collection.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if they launch it in September, it gives them a bit of time for sure. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have some spare codes too as well. I'll have a spare PC one, like Steam. I'll have a spare PS5 one. So I'm getting the collectors this week. I've already pre-ordered the deluxe, so I'm gonna have a couple of codes because I'm gonna just buy the Steam version outright, straight up. So launch day, I'm there. I don't want to have to. I'm not gonna wait until the physical ones come out.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, so yeah, we'll have to figure out stuff like prizes and things like that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Obviously, we can't run tournaments all the time. We run out of money or whatever. I don't know. but we could. It depends how we do it. Like, I mean, we could. I guess we could run it over a series of weeks. And then obviously there's a prize at the end. Depending on what it is. We could run. Like say MK2 arcade, and then after that we might do Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 SNES version, and then after that we might scale back to MK1 Mega Drive, and so we got a lot of choice available, which is like really, really nice. And we'll just sort of have to figure out all of that. Yeah, it's
money,
quite a bit.
Yeah, money's a little tight for everybody right now, so we could do, instead of like at first, you can do the giveaways that you want to do, and for the tournaments, it could be something smaller. Like you could do like a 6-month membership for your channel.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's 99 cents a month, and that would just be $6 a membership you can use and for the channel. It doesn't have to. back in the day, we didn't get prize pools. It was about the honor and the glory, right? And just the fun of the game. So,
Yeah.
the first couple of tournaments, sure, you could do a giveaway, or whenever it launches, if you want. And then after that, we could have fun little tournaments and just meet a lot. My biggest thing is I want to build bridges. I want to meet a lot of people because I walked away from the online FGC a long time ago, so I don't know all these people that you guys talk to a lot on the daily basis. I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to actually talk to these people and maybe get some really good games in.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I think I think it'll be pretty good. I was saying this like earlier when I spoke to Headlocked and a little bit to you, but I am really hoping that like I like Fightcade, sure, but I am hoping that in an official capacity, the Legacy Collection essentially will, like, it won't replace Fightcade, but it'd be very nice to be able to have an official product, that we load up, these games in an official capacity and play. Obviously Fightcade is locked to PC. I think you might be able to get it running on like phones or maybe a tablet, but you can't do it on console unless there's like some workaround that I don't know of. So whereas in this instance, especially when they bring in crossplay, we're going to have everything from the Switch, PS5, PC and Xbox platforms all pooling together, which would be really nice. So I'm just I think it's going to be I'd really like it to see. I'd really like to see it to a degree replace the MK Fightcade stuff.
I know Fightcade. I've had access to Fightcade for a while. There's just something about it. I don't know. I guess I want the milk from the cow, directly from the cow.
Yeah.
Fightcade's cool and all, but it's just I can't get into it like I would probably, when this actually officially drops. And Fightcade's fun with friends and whatnot, but yeah, I prefer milk straight from the cow.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like Fightcade's good. Obviously we've had quite a few matches on it and for other people and stuff around the world, and it's fine, but it definitely would be very cool. It's kind of like too, like, now that we've got official, versions, like just recently they upgraded Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper and included like the I think it was the PSP extra characters from PSP, like the Max version, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Max, I think it was. They included like 4 characters that were only in that. They put it into the arcade game for Alpha 3 Upper in this recent update for Capcom Fighting Collection 2. So that sort of stuff is very exciting. That now like, we have all these awesome collections out there. We've got the Marvel vs. Capcom collections. We've got Capcom Fighting Collection 1 and 2. We've got Street Fighter 30th Anniversary. There's quite a lot out there. Definitely that's very cool. And while obviously things like Fightcade are free, obviously there are restrictions. Like I said, you can't access it on consoles, so it is restricted just to PC. And it'd just be really nice just to be able to load up the MK collection and go, yep, now we've got an MK collection. We've got the Street Fighter ones. Hell, even Digital Eclipse years ago did Samurai Showdown collection, which is amazing. I love Samurai Showdown. So having a lot of these older like fighting games come back in big collections is really sweet, and hopefully it keeps happening. Because we definitely need like more and more of it. But I'll definitely be supporting it because so far I'm really digging what they're selling. So that's very exciting for me. Especially with Trilogy, the announcement. Obviously that was the cream on top of the cake. We finally got the big gun. The big gun when it comes to actual 2D MK. We got it.
The BFG.
The BFG, right? Big fucking game. So we got that. And obviously we'd like some, just, I think gold, if they can get gold in there, I think it's very important. I read a comment on Twitter because it would get it out of the jail that it's in right now when it comes to, Dreamcast. Like right now, outside of emulation, in official capacity, the Dreamcast is the only one that has gold, and I think it would be very important to free that, and have it on the Legacy Collection, as an archive. Even if you never liked it, having it on there just as an archive, I think it'd be great. Even with post-launch, if they decide to release DLC, putting the plug-and-play MK in there if they can, or Mega CD MK1, or Mega Drive version of Ultimate MK3, like a whole bunch of ones that that they maybe have wanted to have in there, but they just couldn't initially because they had sort of a quota and or licensing that they had to deal with. And I think that'd be that's also very exciting too, because they've been supporting their Atari collection this whole time. I think they're up to I think it's 3 DLC packs almost, I think. So there's a lot of love there, and I really hope that transposes over to MK. And not only do we keep getting quality of life updates, but also extra content. But yeah, going back to the offline online thing, there is that part of me that just likes just one day just sitting there just playing it offline, just playing, not having to worry about online. It's literally just me in the game, as I remember back when I was younger playing. So
yeah, it's going to be amazing. I mean, I'm looking forward to checking out the home versions of like MK3 and because that's what I was playing X-Band on the Sega Genesis. You plug the X-Band in, which is a modem, plug the phone line in, put MK1, 2, 3, Street Fighter, NBA Jam, and stuff on the X-Band, and that was my first online experience with fighting games.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to fire up MK3 again, and just for the sounds and the feel of it. I'm not really interested in the handheld stuff. Yeah. But the fact that it's going to be in there, that's just to me, Trilogy is the perfect slice of cheesecake with the perfect crust, and it's just it's there. MK3's there, MK2's there, MK1's there. Everything else, everything else that's added is just the cherries and the sauce and everything else on the cheesecake.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be really fucking cool. I'm actually really excited to see what the menu is gonna look like. What's the menu gonna look like? What's it gonna be like scrolling through the games? Have they got a particular theme layout for it? Is it gonna be actual arcade machines, or is it just gonna be box art? With the arcade background. It's gonna, all of that sort of stuff I find very fascinating, because, and we're gonna have that nice, crisp Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection logo start up, before we press start and get into there.
I bet the menu won't be 2 dragons making out.
No. God, no. No, it'll be day too soon if I have to see that shit again. I haven't loaded up MK in a while. I think the last time I loaded it up, I actually got online and played against Kombat. But outside of that, I just had no interest, and especially since this announcement, I'm like, nah, obviously, for the 3D era, babies, this will be that'll be your collection that you're waiting for, and I really hope you guys get it. And outside of MK9, as a 2D MK guy, this is it for me. I honestly, NRS could, I don't care what they bring out anymore, because this is it. I have prayed for for this sort of thing for so long, and so many of us are finally getting it, and that's all I care about. Well,
I really hope, because there's a huge fan base for the 3D era. I hope they get their collection. I really do. Me personally, the 2D collection is all I ever wanted.
Yeah.
The 3D stuff is fun, puzzle combat, chess combat, motor combat, and then the different modes and stuff that came with the 3D games and stuff. But for me, I mean, I'll buy it to support the company if they make a 3D collection to add it to my library, a physical library. Yeah. But I'm happy with just MK1, 2, 3, Ultimate, MK3, and Trilogy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I
I mean,
know.
P4's fine, but
Yeah, I know. A while ago, I think it was on a live stream. Mike Hollow was saying that he was so impressed that they're doing this that he was going to support it. And I
nice.
know he's sort of not really like I don't. I think the 3D era is obviously definitely his favorite era, and he's dabbled I think a little bit on the older arcade machines. But it just shows you that like you know like this collection is even even though it may not be their cup of tea because of the era of MK, they're still willing to go ahead and like say yeah, this definitely should be supported, because of what they're offering and the amount of content they're putting in, the work and the effort, and I absolutely have that obviously for the 3D era. I'd absolutely be pre-ordering that day one if they ever announced it one day, because the 3D era folk definitely need their excitement like we've been having with the 2D era, where they get to play,
Yeah, I want that for them.
Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon, Shaolin Monks, in the modern day, and I think they could do it. I mean, they just figured out PS1 emulation, with Trilogy, so that to me sounds like a good omen for things like, say, Mythology, Sub-Zero, and Special Forces. And of course, if they are greenlit to do a 3D era collection, then they basically like I guess they would have to just settle on, like what would probably be the primary emulator to run all of them. Although Total MK was saying the other day, apparently the games are very copy and paste between them, so you don't. It's not actually a lot of work. It's not like you have to do something special for each one. But obviously with Deception, Armageddon, you had online play. It'd be kind of nice if they did that with what do you call it, with fucking Deadly Alliance. For those that loved it, I think that'd be really cool. So
Yep.
and then of
I'm
course
sending
Shaolin
you
Monks.
something. I'm sending you something in your DMs while we're live, because
Oh yeah, that's cool.
I think you and there are 4 of them so far that have been announced. Scorpion,
nice.
Katana,
Oh yeah, cool.
Liu Kang, and I'll show you the other ones later. I just thought you might like that. Yeah, this is going to be amazing. Like, this is our childhood.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to be like, "Oh, these games suck. It's all nostalgia." It's partly nostalgia, but it's not all nostalgia.
Yeah. And nostalgia doesn't mean necessarily that it's bad either. There's a reason why these games are still very popular, why people play them all the time. They're very popular on Fightcade. Is because there's a deep love for, for this old style. Just like how people still play, like one of the biggest servers on Fightcade, I think, is like King of Fighters 2002. That could end up being into like 600-700 people in that one lobby, because it's such a beloved King of Fighters title. Even though there's newer ones out, it's still one that like people love to go back and play. And that's really awesome. That's like really, really cool. So obviously things like Fightcade, just like before we finalize, something like Fightcade doesn't have like a random like combat. So you can't just sit there and sort of like search for people, right? So basically the way Fightcade works is that you set yourself to online, and so anyone can challenge you, right? But if they look at you, look at your ping, and they're like, "Oh no, I'm not dealing with that," then you may never get a match, right? So it really comes down to whether or not people accept your request or they accept yours, vice versa, whatever. But there's no sort of like quick match option. You can't just sit there and go quick match and then have the game just search for matches, and then like put you up against somebody on the internet. So that's one of the limitations of Fightcade. That obviously every sort of like fighting game that's come out allows you to do. They just put you you can set yourself to being online, like in the Capcom games, you set yourself to online, you just go about your business in the game, play the game, look at the gallery, whatever you do, just wait for your match to pop up. So I'm assuming MK Collection will have that, assuming, and that again sort of pips it above Fightcade, you know, so that way you're not at the behest of whether people will choose to fight you or not, you know. So
yeah, I mean, Fightcade's great and all. I'm not crapping on it. I mean, you can always go on Fightcade and find a match. Like, you don't have to wait really long for a match. If you, any game that Fightcade offers, there's always somebody out there that wants to play. I just want something with more structure. I want a UI. I want a menu.
Yep.
You know, I want that real milk.
Yep.
I don't want 2%.
Yep.
I don't like 2% milk. I want the whole milk.
Yep. You want the whole titty.
Right. And so, yeah, I haven't been playing much Fightcade, you know, because I've been playing other games and stuff. But when this Legacy Collection comes out, I am so ready to get this going.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna be having this loaded up every day. My other games will feel terribly neglected. So, you know, because it'll
Steam Deck.
Right? Yeah,
You can play it on the Steam Deck.
Yeah, I recently got Dragoon's had one for a while. I just recently got a Steam Deck, and I'm very excited to be able to put that on there too. So that way I can just play anywhere, on the toilet, you know, or when I visit family, so, that sort of thing. You know, so that's going to be a lot of fun. You know, that's going to be a hell of a lot of fun as well. And I'll probably end up doing a review on it, to let people know what it's like, playing. Because when I do a review of the Legacy Collection, it's going to be a massive video. I'm going to sit there and I'm going to go through every game. I'm going to load up every game. And at the end of it, hopefully try and get some matches to showcase what the online's like. Because I'm not going to review... I mean, I could review, I guess, every game individually. But it kind of... In some ways, it feels a little redundant. Because, you know, it's just going to be... MK2 Arcade, just, you know,
right,
in a different box. You know, it's still going to be MK2 Arcade, right? So, you know, I don't know if I do individual ones, because obviously you know, they're going to look how they used to, right? I've already done videos on the channel showcasing what the game's going to look like. There's like a montage video on there. You know, that's how they're going to look, right? They're not going to look any different. You know, outside of obviously things like CRT filters and shit like that added. So, you know, I don't know if I review them individually because that's going to be like 20 odd reviews. I mean, maybe. I mean, it depends. I mean, if I find that, like, you know... Well, actually, you know what? Maybe I will, because, like, every single game is going to have access to their own cheat systems, like secrets and shit that's going to be made available, like, readily available, right? So... It might be more concise that I do a review of each one, and showcase, yep, you know, full screen, this is how it is, just, you know, we'll dedicate MK2 Mega Drive version, and when I press this button, it's going to show all, like, a secret, like the special menu, and then in that menu, I can access the cheats. Here's all the cheats. So maybe, yeah, maybe I might do them individually as well, you know, if there's enough to warrant that. Otherwise, it'll just be a massive fucking video. It'll just be a massive video going through every single game, showcasing everything in just one big, you know, showcase. And, you know, I guess go from there. Because it won't just be the games. It'll also be like showing... I won't play the documentaries, but obviously showcasing, you know, the documentaries, showcasing any other stuff they've added in, like artwork, box art, you know, anything. Soundtracks, you know, like if they've got the audio from all the games in there and the jukebox, you know. So there's going to be a lot, you know, to cover, I'd imagine, with this collection, because, yeah, they definitely... it sounds like they're covering all the bases, but... we'll leave it there, man. Is there anything you wanted to say before we rolled out? It was just over 44 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Just real quick. You know, whenever my channel basically is just me playing games, I record them, I edit them, and I upload them. I usually don't do commentary or walkthroughs or guides, blah, blah, blah. But for this collection, I actually went out and bought a microphone, a camera, and I'm going to be doing tutorial videos.
Nice.
For every character and every game. I'm really hoping, you know, because there's a lot of people that missed out on this collection. Like, their very first games were Mortal Kombat Deception or Mortal Kombat X or something. So I want to be able to make videos for the channel that will showcase each character and show their
Yeah.
strengths, their weaknesses, counter picking. Because the great thing about MK1, 2, and 3, and Ultimate and Trilogy is that if you're good enough, you can play anyone and beat anyone.
Yeah.
All right. There are some bad matchups that you can pick, but these games aren't really focused on a meta. I think that's the word the kids use these days.
Yeah.
So I want to make. I actually went out and got a microphone and stuff, and looking forward to doing some tutorial videos and doing some online classes and stuff. I think it'll be great.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, shit. Yeah, I mean that'd be so much, so intuitive and informative for people. Because like I've done a few videos where I've had Dragoon on and we've covered things, and showcase gameplay and stuff, and just being able to have that in a capacity that everyone has access to, I think will be very cool. So, all right, well, thanks for joining me, man. That was cool.
Thank you for having me.
Just stay on after the chat. I'll just put you on mute just so I can roll out. Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I know it was a long video. Obviously we've got some great gameplay over here with the obviously Outworld Bandit or Dragoon Bandit fighting the Master John in Trilogy. And yeah, just let me know what you guys think. Are you guys playing offline? Are you going to be playing online? A bit of both. And which games are you looking to actually get online with and maybe play, or just maybe dedicate a whole bunch of time offline, to them, just like we used to back in the day. Anyway, guys, catch you next time.